tangent, but it was good stuff. Look, Nick Polk, welcome to the family. Here's what's funny about this.
Welcome.
I don't know if you remember this, Steve, but we talked about we had a list, maybe at the beginning of January, of this GM hire. And there was like four, you remember now, right? And I went over the
Yeah.
four people and we talked, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I know and I said this, I don't know who's a good hire. So I said, let's take of just familiarity of what we think will be good. And there was four guys and I pulled up, boom, 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 boom. Nick was the one that I dumped to the side because his website was doo-doo. And I go, no way we hired this guy, and didn't even look at him. Sure enough, Bailey's like, that's our guy. So here we are. A month later, the guy that I completely threw under the bus because of his website is now the guy in charge. Now the guy leading the way. Look, I said this at the beginning. I ain't got to sit here and act like I have a clue of who's the right guy would be asinine. But his website, though.
Make those decisions every day. The website. You can't critique the website. So
I think I need an answer. I would love to have him on the show and say, I got questions. Okay. But look, for the role that, and I saw the know-it-alls on Twitter, as they always there. Mark Scott and his butt buddy Rooster. Anyways, they were arguing about they again, everyone's the smartest guy in the room because he worked at Atlanta, and I was like, Atlanta's a bad football team. And I was gonna give him an example of like you just because one person works there and the organization is bad doesn't mean he does a bad job. To be fair, he obviously there's part of that the Super Bowl run. Again, for us to sit here and act like we know what's going on, what I like about it is the fact this guy 18 years of NFL experience, managed salary caps, did everything at an elite level for a very long time. Again, he's not making the final call. He seems like a numbers guy, brings it to the table and says, here's where my best suggestions. And there's somebody making a bigger move on this, hence why you see the rotation in GMs and the rotation in coaches, because those are the guys getting the final nod, right? This guy's just bringing the numbers to them to make that final call. And that's what he's going to do now. Hey, based on this, and this, we should pay this guy this much. This is what he is worth, constructing those things. So big business idea, numbers guys, those things. I'm excited for it. We need it. So who's the right guy? We would be crazy to say we know it's better because this position's unknown, especially in the college atmosphere.
Correct. I like the hire. First of all, just with the way we're moving, college is becoming professional. So you need these guys in this position. I like that Florida is actually taking the lead on some of this stuff, and getting these guys in these positions. We're dealing with money and players and evaluating them. So we need to know.
This show is, of course, brought to you by BetUS. And right now, when you use the code YouTube150 at BetUS.com, you get 150% back on your first deposit, then $125 on your next two. And with the football playoffs, college football championships and playoffs happening, and then March Madness right around the corner, there is not a better time right now than to sign up for BetUS.com and use that code to maximize your return. Check it out, BetUS.com. Use the code YouTube150. Now back to the show. Get after it.
True numbers. We can't go off feelings. So we need guys that he has an analytical background, a guy that goes by the numbers. And so we need that part of it. You know what I mean? Especially when you got guys that are gonna, you got the you read something in the chat, showing crazy.
Bro,
I don't know what you saw.
I'm trying to have a show. I'm sorry. I'll wait. Bro, I'm broken. I am broken. I'll read in a minute. It's worth a read. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, but no, we have an analytical guy that's coming in, dealt with collective bargaining agreements and stuff like that. We got this revenue share thing coming in, where we're going to be doing rev share, and you want to make sure that the funds are allocated to the right positions at the right time. And so his experience with that, and like you said, the years of experience, you don't make it in that field having that much experience. And then his connections with other people. I looked up somewhere where he like worked at the 33rd or something like that. Is this
no, that's not Nick. That's the other guy that we talked about, Eric Boisner. He's the underneath
that's Eric. Okay. So Nick, yeah.
So two, yes. That was
both of them
announced
are
today
coming
too.
in, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. That was.
Yeah.
It kind of got. It was announced. We talked about it on Wednesday show, but it kind of got washed under. I think think that was the same day Bala got
But
hired. My days are
I
kinda
actually,
blended ag
yeah,
it kinda got packaged
I
together
actually
once
like,
again
yeah.
today.
I actually like both of those hires very well. Him with just his experience dealing with contracts and stuff like that. We need that in the front office, so that way Napier don't have to worry about that type of stuff. We got players that are trying to leave. The spring portal is going to open up soon. You got stuff where moving pieces are moving fast, and these coaches need to be focused on football and not worrying about how much a player should be making, how much they where they perceive their value at. You know what I mean? So I like having these guys in place where they can say, okay, this is where I believe it's at, and then the coach can maybe say, well, I value it a little bit more. You know what I mean? But you need somebody on the other side just to give you the true numbers um, with experience.
What's important about this hire too, and I could be wrong, I could be overstepping on this thought, but again, when Napier was first hired, a lot of people are saying he's over his head, that he can't manage the GM type of movement. There's too many things going on. This, I believe, takes that pressure, off of him now. It goes back to as it should be, which, and I think we can all, we'll talk about the grades a little bit later on, but this now removes him from that and brings in people who've had big GM conversations and maybe can go to Strickland and go to the boosters and have more of a non-emotional connection to it, right? Because they'll
Correct.
have this is going to be their job. This is what they're brought in to do. And so before, the old way was, again, this is where a lot of people probably, and I had to learn this. I'm not going to sit here and say that I knew this, because when people would say this about Billy, I'm like, well, it's coaching, calling plays. What do you mean over his head? Well, it was this part. It was the political part of it, right? Because you're not just a head coach. You've got to come in and you've got to woo over the president or whoever's in, Scott Strickland and the boosters, and be able to have this swagger about you to get guys to give you a lot of money, to invest in you, to believe in you, and then also translate it
For
onto the
sure.
football field. There's a lot more to being a head coach than just calling the right X's and O's and putting the right guys around you. You got to be kissing babies and signing forehead. So this is again just one more thing that takes, and this isn't just Billy; it's a lot of guys. But I think that's why it was so important for them to get this in place, which I think is a good move. All these moves are great, and again, he's because there's already a GM in place. The titling's weird. We kind of learned that, so I'm not trying to even try to break that down. But good stuff though.
Just consider that though, we're hiring these two new guys to do roles. They're gonna have real positions. Just consider who was doing those roles before these guys are being hired.
Yep, spot on.